Hello learners at home. Once again, you're welcome to Learn at Home program. I'm your English teacher of JS3. Today we are going to look at formulators. You must have learned that letters are of three types. We have the formal letter, we have the informal letter, and we have the semi-formal letter. But today precisely we are looking at the formal letter. A formal letter as a type of letter. That is our topic for today. I want you to pay attention and learn everything about the formal letter so that at the end of this lesson you should be able to write a formal letter, otherwise known as official letter. Now, what is a formal letter? A formal letter is an official letter, every form of official letter written to someone in a position of authority. Letters called formal letters are written to those people at the position of authority, not as individuals, but to their offices. If you are writing to someone occupying an office or occupying an official position, such a type of letter is called a formal letter. That letter has a particular format. There is a way to write it. You don't write it like an informal letter. You don't also write it like a semi-formal letter. Everything about the letter is formal, both the language, the setting, the content or the features of such letter is what we call formal. Because the letter has to be taken to the person's office, even if the person is being transferred out of that office or position, the next person can inherit that letter. So the letter will sound official. That is why we call it a formal letter. Now let's look at the features of a formal letter. Let's look at who we write formal letters to. To whom do we write this type of letter? You can write this type of letter to a head of an institution, like the principal of a school. You can write it to a newspaper editor. You can write such a letter to political leaders, the governors, the chairman of local government or area councils, the president of a country, a senator, a minister, all those people occupying political seats. You don't write to them informal letter, you write to them formal letters. We have business letters. Any letter you write for business purpose is a formal letter. We also have letters written for job or employment. Such letters, in them, you don't sound unofficial. You don't sound friendly. You don't sound as if it's semi-formal. Even if the person you're writing to is your parent, you sound as if you don't even know the person because it's the letter you're writing to him or her office. You are not writing it to the person as an individual. That is why we call it a formal letter. The language is formal, the setting is formal, the content is formal. Even the organization, everything appears formal in nature. That is why we call it a formal letter. Now let's look at parts of a formal letter. What are the necessary parts that you will see and you know that this letter is a formal letter? What are the features or parts you identify and you know that this letter is a formal letter? The first thing to see there is the writer's address. The writer's address is the address of the person writing the letter. If you are writing letter of application, your own address, where you can be located in case the receiver wants to find you. That is your address. You don't use fake address. You don't use any address you see. You just use your own address to write it. That is the writer's address. Part of the writer's address is the date. You write the date. The date should be the day the letter is written. We have the receiver's address. This is one of the things that makes a formal letter different from other types of letter. The receiver's address is usually written a line below the writer's address. It's usually the address of the person you're writing to, and it contains or it begins with the designation of the person. Let's assume you're writing to the principal of your school. The designation is the principal. Then you write the name of your school or the address of your principal. If you are writing to the state governor, the designation is the governor, then the state you are writing to. So that is the receiver's address. You don't necessarily need to add the date to the receiver's address. After the receiver's address, what comes next? The next thing that comes is the salutation. Like I told you before, in formal letter, everything is formal. The salutation should also be formal. The salutation is usually "Dear sir," that is what is accepted. We can also write "Dear madam." That is if you're sure of the person's gender, that the person is a woman, you can use "Dear madam." We don't accept "Dear ma." We don't also accept "Dear sir/madam." It's not formal. So you just be precise, "Dear sir," in your letter. If you're not sure of the gender of the receiver, you just use "Dear sir," it will be acceptable. We have the title. After salutation, the title comes next. What is the title? The title of a formal letter is like a theme. What is showing you what the letter is going to talk about. If you are writing letter of employment, the title will show that this letter is about employment. You can say a letter of employment. You can title it employment letter. You can title it application for an appointment. Those are all examples of title or caption. You can call it heading. We can call it title. We can also call it caption. They are all saying the same thing. The next thing that follows is the body of the letter. Of course, the body of the letter is the most important part of a letter. That is the part in which you communicate to the receiver. What you want the receiver to hear from you, the information you are passing across to the reader is contained in the body of the letter. How is the body of the letter written? The body of the formal letter is written in an official way. There is no room for asking questions, irrelevant questions. You don't need to start saying, "How are you, sir? Greetings to you from my area," and so on and so forth. Those are not showing formality. What you need to do is to go straight to the point, trying your best to address the point you are trying to write about. If you are applying for a job, you don't need to beat about the bush. Just be straight to the point in your letter. In the body of the letter, in a formal letter, there is nothing like use of slangs. There is nothing like use of short forms. You don't use slangs, short forms. You don't also use SMS language, the language of short forms. Like when you want to say "for you," you write "for" and "you." It's not accepted in a formal letter. A formal letter should sound formal. There should be some levels of respect in the body of the letter. The letter should not sound casual. The letter should not sound as if you know the receiver. Even if the person occupying the position is your parent or a family friend, you don't need to sound as if you are writing to the person. You write to the person's office, because the letter you are writing is because the person is occupying that position. That is why it should not sound informal or semi-formal. Now, having written the body of the letter, remember, it's English we're talking about. The body of the letter should be written in paragraphs. A paragraph, you know what a paragraph is? It's written in indented form. You don't begin the normal way. You just have to adjust a little bit from the margin. You paragraph your work. Every point should have a paragraph. And at the end of your letter, the next thing that follows is the subscription. What is the subscription? Subscription is the closure of the letter. In subscription, the formal letter only accepts one type of subscription. The subscription is yours faithfully. Yours faithfully. When you subscribe, you now sign your signature. Yours begins with capital Y, faithfully begins with small f. And then you append your signature and you write your full names. A formal letter requires writing of full names and signature. That is a formal letter. Now, let's look at a sample formal letter question. There is an advertisement by Zenith Bank on the Daily Trust newspaper for the post of a customer care representative. Write an application letter to the manager of the Zenith Bank for the job. This is a good sample of a formulator question. Now let's look at this letter. Let's just see how the letter is written. You can see this letter, the sample of this letter. What is here is the address. This is the address. Whose address is this? This is the writer's address. I just chose a particular school address. Now, this is the address, this is the name of the school, this is the location of the school, and this is a date attached to the address. The next thing that follows there, like I pointed out before, is the receiver's address. The question says we should write to the manager of Zenith Bank, Wuse Branch, Abuja. You can see that the manager is the designation or the person's office. And then the address where you can find the office is written. What follows next is the salutation. The salutation. This is the salutation. There, sir. Like I pointed out before, you don't use there, sir, / madam. No one is a man as well as a woman. It's not possible. Or you are asking the person to choose which one are you, ma or sir. It's not accepted. You just use there, sir. The next thing that comes is the letter of application, which is the title. My letter has letter of application. Initial letters are capitalized. If I capitalize all the letters in the title or caption, I'm not going to underline it. That is what I want you to take note of. The body of the letter comes next. The body of the letter, just listen to my letter. It says, with reference to your advertisement on Daily Trust newspaper of 20th November 2020, I humbly apply for the post of a customer care representative in your establishment. I studied mass communication at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and graduated with second-class honors, upper division. I have also obtained relevant postgraduate trainings and can confidently handle the job if the opportunity is given to me. You can see the letter is devoid of any form of joke, slang, familiar language, and so on and so forth. I enclose photocopies of my curriculum vitae and credentials for further reference. In a formal letter, you don't need to write so much details. Just write what you want to write and enclose your curriculum vitae, also known as CV, so that they can refer to it. Now, I have the last one, that's the subscription. My subscription begins with capital Y, that is yours, followed by faithfully, small f. We don't accept yours sincerely. We don't accept yours affectionately, yours lovely. All those ones are not accepted in formal letter writing. The next thing that comes after the subscription is my signature. Your signature must be there. You are signing, you are saying that this letter is actually written by me. And then your full names, the surname and the first names or second name, but your full name should be there, surname and first name. Now, you have a task to do. You are going to try this out on your own at home. The question says, there is an advert on the Vanguard newspaper for the post of a secretary in Radio Nigeria, Abuja. Write an application for the job. This is your task. You're going to follow my own style. You're going to take note of all the points I made and the correction I made to write this your letter. We're going to stop here for now. We're going to continue next time. Ensure you join us in our next sit-at-home class. See you next time. Thank you. I remain your teacher, Teacher Christiana Ibanugo, English teacher of JS 3.
Thank you.